right. We're about 20 minutes on what we thought was some Masonic mystery, but not really. It was about election improprieties. Yeah, man, irregularities. I can't get that word right. And a English a politician that probably got shafted in a vote. We got all that same stuff here. I've been watching the My Pillow guy lose that fight, which I don't know he should have lost. I'm pretty sure that was to silence him like Alex Jones. But yeah, no, I digress. I'm only free enough to get myself in a lot of trouble. I'm truly not free. First time around, I was like, I think I took a bunch of Moorish court trials and other sovereign law type conspiracy places and tainted it with the filter was tainted. And I read the title this time because I just got burned on a title. And to be honest, when it's a request, I just click on it and go. I'm kind of unprepared that way. But I remember before it went off the rails, I should have focused on that word mindset and seeing it as maybe along the lines of the left-right hemisphere balance, the brain balance in the natural law seminar. And maybe with that thoughts in mind, it'd be a better place to start over. I know it's not Tuesday, but you can still strap on a tinfoil hat and join us if you want. Or you could just take it at face value and listen. I just like playing. So we admit the normies don't go down these avenues much. They probably should. They just don't. With that all being said, let's go.
Hopefully everyone's got the manual like this. Okay, you can download all this information for free on the website if you want. That's not a problem. And then collect all these handouts, staple them all up and make your own handout. If you don't fancy doing that, then we do put it all together for you. I think they're 20 quid on the website. So hopefully you should all be able to see the screen. You'll see the beginning of the presentation here. So it's notice of disclaimer. So as normal, we're going to go through the mindset stuff because this is vitally important. It doesn't matter how good your paperwork is or how good your language.
Okay, remember. So we're going to ignore this part because what happened is I got triggered with the whole straw man. Why are you in all caps on all your legal documents? You are a construct, a straw man, blah, that whole thing. And not that I don't think some of that's true. I'm pretty sure all debt is paid off on our labor, and this stuff is tied to the Federal Reserve or the banker system, the fiat currency system. The entire thing is this crazy shit show. Now we're gonna try to soak in the mindset stuff so I don't go off the rails because I've got too many hours in like some of these subjects where it seems great, but you go watch where they bank on people who try this stuff in court and get the other side as well, because it's the system unfortunately has force to impose its fake laws on us. That's how come they win. They'll hurt you if you don't do it. And we as free people technically don't have that. Natural law should dictate unless you're being attacked. You don't get to just use force. You don't get to impose your will on others, but somehow government through force gets to. See, this is how it goes off the rails. It's hard because I don't want to co-opt the content, and asking me to watch this isn't going to get this any views. We're going to get it 15 views total. because my channel does not get out to anybody. It's the truth. But then I don't, I don't use thumbnails. I don't use titles. I don't play games. Which the last video, the first video of the day, is a perfect example. That title was clickbait. It was frustrating. If it told me it was about election irregularities, I still would have watched it because I was asked to. But I certainly wouldn't have thought it was about the Masons. But no, clickbait.
If you do not have the right mindset, you will be decimated by these people, okay? They will smell fear. They will know that you're bluffing. So you have to become sovereign. This is a mindset thing. And then when people can recognize it, they'll see it in your eyes. And people will know that you know how the system works. And then they'll start backing down. So we're going to go through the mindset stuff, and then we're going to get into signatures. So there's the Sovereign Project logo. Hopefully everyone understands the symbolism behind that. There's more information regarding the Sovereign Project icon. That there's a PDF on the website that you can download, and it details the hidden meaning behind the icon. The icon there is copyright free. Anyone can use that, and it means sovereignty. So we've got the website, the sovereignproject.live. Please share this with everybody. And we've got different...
pretty sure first time around I didn't smirk. I probably smirked then too. It's not disparaging that comment. It's how symbolism, sacred geometry, and other symbols convey ideas and images. And some people don't know, and then some people do. If you know, you know, kind of thing, I believe is the meme we've got to. But I find it interesting because right below me, I tried to do, make my own cartouche, if you will, trying to put ideas into an image to convey meaning.
Social media, we've got Gab, MeWe, we've got Telegram, Instagram, Facebook, all that sort of stuff. Yeah. So if you want to know more, please feel free.
Yeah, I don't have any of that stuff. I'm supposed to, but it turns out I also don't like to grovel for a currency. I exchange my labor for money and then do this because it's fun and it's better than playing video games.
We've got Telegram, Instagram, Facebook, all that sort of stuff. So if you want to know more, please feel free to jump onto these social media platforms, ask questions. Also, what I'd like you to do is try and form groups for where you are. Try and reach out to people who live local to you so that, you can actually meet up once a week in a venue, get to know them, and then you can share this information as well, because we're trying to create the Sovereign Network, which will be global. So how do I become sovereign? You do not register anywhere to become sovereign, nor do you need any paperwork. Being sovereign is a status. You must know this in your heart and in your mind. You have been socially conditioned.
I can't remember if it was the last one or this one. I know that I am a free and perfectly designed conscious, driving a meat suit through a system defined by natural law. Everything else is man's influence on it, or woman's, or squirrelkin spirit. Humans' influence on the system around me is the control system. I was created and developed and born as in a free state. I think it's the same thing. And then everything either benefits me or enslaves me. Anything is within an ethical, moral framework, or it's not. I simply go left hand, right hand path. But in the end, I'm pretty sure the natural law stuff and the sovereign mindset, very similar. I gotta believe.
To forget you are already sovereign. Yeah. Paperwork is used to keep your sovereign status. It can't give it to you. So there's a lot of sort of scammers online that will sell you plastic cards and paperwork and all the rest of it. And they'll say, this paperwork makes you sovereign. Well, if you truly had the sovereign mindset, you would know that that's fake. That's false.
Sure, it's like preaching the word. You don't need an organization to tell you you're qualified to preach the word. You need a personal connection to the word and it filling inside that empty space that is available for faith and belief. And once you have that, you are the preacher that you could be. No one has to tell you that's true. If you're steeped in the word was all you need. If you truly believe you're sovereign, preaching on being sovereign will help other people discover it if you believe in it. But that is the idea behind the mindset. You have to know these things are true. If you're looking for someone in authority to tell you they could be true, you're missing the core concept. You have to know these things to be true, and then they will manifest as reality around you. There's as much tie into natural law and manifestation as I can do. And that's what started us here. Manifesting goodwill through an object, food, trying to grow a business, as I hate doing it. So obviously it's not because of just my hard work. There's more to it. Watching it actually work. It's very interesting. Yeah, this is how it gets so long, because I don't know what to do. I'm not just trying to... If you want to go join up and follow this content, you should. I can't help this content get out farther, so I can only reflect upon it in my own way.
It's not how it works. The reason being...
No. Actually, it is
to
how
be,
it works.
well, if you truly
exactly how it works over here.
Had the sovereign mindset, you would know that that's fake, that's false, that's not how it works. The reason being is to be sovereign means that you have control of your personal authority. So to ask someone else to somehow give you your sovereignty by using their paperwork means that they must have authority over you. Ergo, you're not sovereign. Okay? So this is something to learn over time that
I used, I'm going to have to give you a real life example. You'll have to see if it's pertinent. I had an experience where someone asked me, this is about authority and how people do not like truthful answers. I was setting up a taco bar on Tuesday. All you can eat tacos during bingo. It's a good event, brings in folks. There were pretentious people drinking out on the patio. I was literally working with food all around me. Gentleman walks in and puts the glasses right there, right by the food, is dirty shit, right by where people are going to be eating. And he says, I hope that's okay. And I'm a dick. I'm like, well, I would tell you that's the truth, but she's brand new and I'm the cook, so neither one of us have the authority to answer your question. What it really did was you could read it on his face. Basically, I said, you're too stupid to know you're not supposed to put your filth by our food. But because neither one of us are in a position to tell you drunkies how to act, I had to let him know that you're just making poor decisions. And what you're looking for is someone to co-sign and say your filthy habit so you can get out of the room is appropriate because you deserve to do whatever you want. Well, I explained, none of us have the authority to grant that. You're just going to transgress against us. But I wanted you to know you were doing it. And it was all up in their shit. They knew. They knew I called out their bad behavior. And nobody else understood but the person and I. Even the new person was like, what the hell is going on right now? And I'm like, no, they want permission to be dirty and we can't give it to them. Then what kicks in is natural law, letting them know they're filthy. And I win. Because I taught them a lesson and I let natural law remind them that there are morals and ethics that go beyond reasoning. It's simple. It's like, hey, Oh, you don't do filthy shit. But when you're driving a Beamer and you do filthy shit, you're just a pretentious asshole looking for authority to pat you on the back and say, yeah, it's okay, shit on us all you want. These are mindsets. It's how you see the world. And pretentious assholes see the world as they have authority through their purchasing power to be better than you. You don't. You just have more shit than I have. You are not a more moral or ethical creature because you think you're special. You just think you're special. And the funny thing is it's always a search for authority. And it turns out force is the only authority being used right now. That and a bunch of pencil whipped bullshit.
Especially when you get into ID cards, all this sort of stuff, when you start learning all about this, is that authority comes from you. You are the authors of it. This is all tied to your signature. So if you want to be sovereign, it has to come from you. It cannot come from another source. So sovereign, you've reached the age of consent and are now responsible for yourself. That's what it means. You are responsible for your life. You self-govern and have supreme authority over your life. No one has authority over you. This is why you can't go to someone else and ask for paperwork from them to somehow make you sovereign, because that means they have authority over you. That's not how it works. The very meaning of sovereignty is that the decree of the sovereign makes the law. You make the law. This is what's been stolen from you. You've been brainwashed. We've all been born into this system. We didn't know any different. Everyone was.
I think what happened, the law actually exists. It's natural law. So it's ethics and morals and we're over there in Paseo trying to get our base rebuilt or refurnished with that a little bit, strengthen up the foundation. As always, a refresher is good, but that's one of the only differences I do believe your laws would have to be within natural law framework. Otherwise, you're just imposing authority on others, and you probably have to enforce that authority with weapons and force. You know what I mean? And that's the problem with making laws.
Was brainwashed to think that laws somehow come from Parliament, which is a legal fiction corporation, and everyone's forgotten that we each individually have the right to make our own laws within our own dominion.
Yeah, so I definitely probably went south here because I don't. That's telling me as long as I leave you alone, you can do anything in your bubble. And if your decisions go against the morality of truth and existence, then you are an enemy to the planet. And I have a natural law right to try to search out that evil and put it down. There is no point you get to do just whatever you want because you're so free to do evil. That's the difference, is we have a moral responsibility to the light. I'm sorry, we do. That's what gets corrupted. Power and self-service corrupt, and then we think, I deserve this. I don't believe that's true at all.
Sovereign is not a title, it is a status. We will be getting into this in a few weeks' time when we cover titles and how titles are used to steal your sovereign status. Lawful versus legal. Your enslavement began when you were born. This is all tied into the birth certificate. This is done using the legal system. Now, hopefully everyone now, if you've done the first 3 weeks, okay, you'll understand that the legal system is just jurisdictions or corporate jurisdictions. That's all it is. It's man-made corporate jurisdictions.
At this point, as always, it's going to be safe to remind you, authority uses force. When it's spoken about as just words on paper, you are forgetting the part that the words on paper are then backed up by force. No mindset beats a bullet. Sorry. Now, could you get a mob of like-minded people to lay down till they run out of bullets? I don't know. That's a tough choice to make, isn't it? I guess if the leader of the movement was in the front row. But that's a tough one because legal, lawful, this, that. We can't be trying to free ourselves solely so we can do whatever we want and live in our bubbles. We have to free the planet from enslavement and any system designed to bind and control other humans. Then natural law works itself out. All the corrupt, immoral, unethical people will, be dealt with properly.
And you've been tricked into thinking it's law when in fact it isn't. So to become free, you need to learn the difference between lawful and illegal. These are two different worlds. Private versus public. Your rights and freedom are never taken, they are given away. You are tricked into leaving your private world and entering the public. Now remember, the word public actually means private. It just means someone else's private jurisdiction. We will be getting into this in a few weeks' time. Once you have been tricked into entering the public world, your status is lost. Once you become a member of the public, for example, or a civilian or a citizen, and you've accepted these legal titles, you are no longer sovereign. These are two different worlds. So signature, we will be getting into this tonight. The people who control the system require your consent. You are only a slave because you consented.
What is that, tacit agreement? We definitely have a little bit of knowledge in this. I am not enough to free myself from the enslaving. But I do know that this is super true. That we comply all the time. And we agree by not doing anything about it. And honestly, right now is a good time to mention that I would look up the a notice of liability movement. They've got a different name for their group, but it's about applying this notice of liability to people that are basically letting you hey, we're gonna put these new digital monitors on the house. I can't think of the name of it because I hate them. Basically, on your power pole, the control side. Damn, I don't know why I can't think of the name of it, but whatever. They're bad for you, right? And in some places, they just tell you they're going to put them in. And Ange and I went down the notice of liability thing. And it appears that in some places, if they can get it filed and get to the person, it makes someone responsible for what they're doing. So let's say the Wi-Fi signals from that device give you all leukemia. Now that person who had them installed without looking into the dangers is responsible. They tend to rethink their actions when it turns out there's going to be someone liable for the damages done. When they could just do it and with no accountability, and we just go along with it, that's them winning all day, huh?
Now you were tricked, so it's not informed consent, but this is all these people, that's all they need, okay? The people who run the system, they're parasites. As long as you stay quiet.
Just thought we'd make sure you, what is a tacit agreement and how does it affect blah, blah, blah. Tacit agreements introduce flexibility into contract interpretation and enforcement. Unlike express contracts with clearly stated terms, tacit agreements depend on inferred mutual understanding. Now, right there, if you don't get that, there's no point. You'd have to understand the power of those words there. Inferred mutual understandings. Now, I know I live with a person who has a little bit of trouble reading between the lines and filling in the blanks. I know she's not alone in this world when it comes to that. Uh, who just think how that is used against people. Now, I'm just saying, I'm inspired by this to think about all this stuff. But yeah, there most of the things we agree to, we don't even know we agreed to.
They'll take that as your consent. Your signature is the key to all of this, and combined with your legal identity, your freedom, rights, and wealth are stolen from you. About 85% of the wealth you generate in your lifetime is stolen by these parasites. You are living on crumbs. And when you realize that your signature has been used to generate hundreds of millions of dollars in credit, and that these people who control the system live off that credit, and you are giving scraps, especially when it comes to like benefits, when you can't work, or for example, when you retire and you get pennies and your name's created hundreds of millions of dollars of credit, you'll realize just how insidious this system really is.
And those statements there really go along the monetary conspiracy hole. I went all the way back to puka shells, tally sticks. That's how I know a little bit about your whole Crusaders and the protecting of gold shipments and the whole well, conspiracy theory behind what's her name, Templars. This, that, the other. Monetary conspiracy and the history of money and the control of well. Let's be honest. I got lost at end of the gold standard. At least there was a exchange for something that had actual value. I'm positive the paper don't have value.
So mindset is key. I'll just keep telling people this. Mindset is the key. They control you through your mind. You have been indoctrinated since birth. To be free, you must break your brainwashing and become free. Only those who wish to be set free can be. This basically means you can't argue with anyone. You're wasting your time. If they don't want to be free, if they want to be slaves, let them. Okay.
100% agree, and I hope at any point I'm not disparaging on this content because I actually think this is great stuff. I'm clear. I like my natural law side. I don't like doing paperwork, and I don't spell very well. Writing is not my forte. Contractual anything. I'm a tacit agreement guy. It's called a handshake. There's a lot implied, and then a lot of knowledge can be transferred through that handshake. I have never broke a contract created on a handshake. So I'm completely familiar with the tacit agreement. But most people love authority and love control. They want big daddy government to tell them what to do. You cannot free them. Matrix nailed that explanation perfectly. You can go watch that.
You try and wake them up, they'll just argue with you even more, and it'll make the situation worse. So what you should do is say, you know what, Sovereign Project, it's not for you. It's an elite club, okay? It's not for you.
Now, I would not call myself, Passio, and the knowledge of natural law elite in any way. It's just esoteric, occulted, and hidden from society. An elite mindset, unfortunately, is a self-serving statement. Those words, unfortunately, don't benefit being manifested into reality. No disrespect. I wouldn't call it an elite club. I'd look up the big club joke by Carlin and see how the language pigeonholes you to a left-hand path here.
You go off and you be a slave, put your mask on, do what it is you want to do. It's not for you, okay? Don't argue with these people. Language and words are used against you daily. This is how you.
Language and words are used against you daily. And if your main goal is to become the elite, then aren't you becoming the same problem that we are enslaved by now? If there was an elite class of right hand path members, they would shine a light on the evil that their peers are doing. It appears as soon as you get to a certain stage where you can't be told no, you get this really strange libertarian value where anybody can do disgusting shit in their bubble as long as they don't affect you. But the missing kids you stole for your satanic bloodletting orgies, they're still missing. And those regular people have holes in their lives. I do not support anything at the top because the top is not willing to govern itself ever. It just consumes and creates more wealth and elite status. So just in case the Sovereign Project is aligned with elitism, we're going to call that for what it is. The rest of everything is good. The irony is he just talked about language being used against us. And self-serving elitism is definitely a destructive mindset.
Do what it is you want to do. It's not for you, okay? Don't argue with these people. Language and words are used against you daily. This is how you're enslaved. Because most people do not know the meaning behind words and do not know how to use language properly, they fall foul of the system. This is things like not understanding what register means or license means, okay? And they fall foul. They don't realize that they're handing over ownership. Yeah. They can't really, don't.
I have a right to travel, but the problem is in this country, it is what he's talking about here in a way. We have some of this stuff out here in the country. There's this triangle you get because it turns out roads are regulated, and unfortunately there'll be a fine and a gun wielding enforcer if you don't comply. This is the only part I don't get. Is because my property still falls within their world. I guess if I'm not leaving my property, a lot of this is great. It's like those yahoos that make their sovereign state in the middle of another state. And they claim because they have their local currency, their own ideas, and their own little flag and symbols that they're free. Except they're only allowed to work under the regulations of the damn county they blew up in. Oh, so as long as your LARP complies to local regulation and code, you get to pretend you're anything you want. Try building up a military within that little county country you designed and see how fast that goes south on you. See if you get enough power to enter the big club. If they continue to let you exist. Because that's the point of the big club, isn't it? It's not a mindset, it's a control system.
Realize that when you register to vote, you're handing over power of attorney because you're actually voting within a ward. Because people don't know what a ward is. You are tricked into entering into a contract, allowing the people who control the system to have jurisdiction over you. You consent to your enslavement. Paperwork, now that you are brainwashed and unable to...
99% quality stuff. I was just thinking about it. I want it to go up. But this is why I pull stuff down, because I'm more interested in how it affects me. If you're interested, go join the system and get the stuff and be a member. I don't ask you to join this channel. I'm not asking anybody to join anything else. I need you to support the musicians when we listen to their music because we're not a radio station. All commercials shown are usually for YouTube, not for me. I just don't want to disparage Sovereign Pete too much. I actually think this is great stuff. I unfortunately think we're beyond any of this. And especially if you're over in the UK, you're disarmed. I don't know what you're playing at. This is the system you'd bring in after you overthrow the corrupt system that's enslaving you. So this is how you would design your system from the bottom up. From the top down, it just seems like a clerical LARP. Because once again, who's got the will and the ability and the lead to enforce their will? Will is what we're got to really talk about. The will to allow others to enslave humanity. Well, we all tacitly agree to that. No paperwork and mindset's going to end that. It'll probably be, as Ren is pointing out in his X rants right now, it'll probably be revolution.
Use language properly. They take your wealth and freedom using bogus contracts. This is what is called the legal system. Remember, the legal system is just corporate jurisdictions. They're man-made. It's not law. There is
no, I like maritime law where I could have remedy produced. Yeah, I hope that lands where it's supposed to land.
Nothing that compels you to follow any of it. Acts and statutes do not apply to you. Okay, the government is just McDonald's. It's a corporation. In fact, it even operates in the lowest jurisdiction there is, and that's the jurisdiction of the pauper. But we'll get into that probably in a few weeks' time. That's quite complicated to understand. The truth is, it does not apply to you. You have just been conditioned to accept it. Quick fix to escape the system. There are no silver bullets or magic pills. We all understand that. You've got to put the work in. You've got to meet me halfway on this.
No, they make them out of lead or other alloys. You're not hunting werewolves. You're hunting satanic Luciferian pedophiles. But there is, what was it, 3% of the population freed them from a monarchy's rule? What the true illusion on this planet is power and control. The biggest problem the planet has is order followers. All the contractual stuff is the paperwork, mumbo jumbo LARP that keeps us from shooting each other. No amount of thought and mindset stops the no paperwork stops those civil wars from popping off. They're hearts and minds and will-based events. And until we have the will to decide that enslaving each other, it's a circle. I agree with the way natural law frees us, unfortunately. I do.
Show you how the system works, but then you have to put the work in and you've got to learn it. You've got to spread the truth with other people.
Oh, yeah.
And it's only the people who put the work in and learn this stuff who will be set free. The plebs, they're not going to make it. No white knight. No one is going to save you. Do not wait to be saved. You must save yourself. The system creates saviors. So they will always try and create a politician or someone like that, someone who speaks out, some celebrity or whatever. And people are tricked into believing that that's the white knight that's going to...
Well, tricked, they are convinced through hearts and minds manipulation. You can even call it a magical spell. But it's not just as easy as tricking them. All his mentionings of conditioning are more appropriate than trick. Saying that, I would double down by saying that I saw some headlines. Project Warp Speed dickwad pretty much just triggered the largest Streisand effect that's ever going to happen. And it turns out we know what they're doing at the top, shushing us and pretending that the blood sacrifice control elite don't exist. Ain't gonna work. Too much evidence that they really exist. And now, being this channel has a complete understanding that what they are is just steeped in Crowleyan sex magic because they like disgusting STD-filled orgies. And then they love abusing victims. It makes so much more sense The magic, a LARP. The control system, the utopian dreams, LARP. Useful idiots who will take money to enforce their will, true existence we're living under.
Save them. Now, the problem is if you think that someone is going to save you, then that means you won't try and save yourself. You'll just wait to be saved. This is why the system, or the matrix, if you like, actually gives saviors, fake saviors. So you've got to realize that they're all fake. No one is going to save you. The only person who's going to save you is yourself. But you're not alone. The good stuff, the good news is that you are now part of the Sovereign Fraternity. People join every day. I think on average, we get 10 people a day signing up. So awesome. It's coming on great.
I do respect 99.9% of all of this. Is very cool. And I think it's dead on accurate stuff.
You know, people are downloading this information. They're sharing this information. They're beginning to learn. They're beginning to wake up. By the way, waking up means becoming sovereign. That's truly waking up. A lot of people say the Great Awakening happened in 2020. Well, not necessarily. A lot of people woke up to the crimes that the government was actually doing, but they didn't fully wake up, and they haven't fully woken up yet. So
no, I would, and unfortunately, that's where I place myself one step higher. I admit I'm crazy and all my opinions are for entertainment purposes only. But I am pretty positive I won't go David Icke reptilian shapeshifter on you. Illuminati is just a cover word for Crowleyan sex magic cults that wield power and control through will. Yeah, that's the world I live in. There's too much evidence of that now. That's it. They covet each other's women. They basically, they want the orgy. They use the fake power and demonic control as the reason to get the side pussy.
Collective. Stop being part of the herd. Do not use we or they or our. These are collective terms. Things like my government. It's not my government. I've got nothing to do with it. Okay, it's a corporation. I've got no contract with the government, so it's not mine. So you need to become an individual, become unique. Hypotheticals. Do not fall into this trap. Do not allow hypotheticals to control your reality. They do this all the time. Politicians will try and scare you with hypotheticals, so you will give up your freedom and you'll give up your wealth. Stuff like pay taxes to help the poor. By the way, taxes do not pay the poor in any way, shape, or form. In fact, taxes don't even fund the government. All right, so the way the government funds itself is through the sale of birth certificates, namely your birth certificate. They sell these birth certificates, they securitize them, they make credit off these birth certificates. Well, the thing is, with the security, there's interest to pay. So the government...
My only difference is that we'll call this part one. I better come back. Otherwise it's going to go an hour and a half. The only difference here is I believe that all labor. I don't have enough knowledge base to. My rhetoric's too poor to explain what they do with the non-labor money. But I'm pretty sure all labor produces income because there's an exchange for the work done, but then that goes to pay the debt on the printed from thin air money. The paid off debt goes to the bankers, which in the form of actual money because there was an exchange made. That everything else is just something I don't understand. Money from nothing. Yeah, this is, oh man. Okay. Perfect your mindset and become sovereign. I don't know. My mindset blew well, that's what happens. That's what I do. I'm looking forward to more of it. I just don't be an elitist. It turns out power corrupts. All power corrupts. Once you get so elite that no one can tell you no, it looks like y'all side with the bad guys. Right? That's just the problem. Maybe we really need to take the top down a hair now, or at least take it apart and let's just see what's really going on in the torture basements before we move forward. Because I can't have the same person that can do all those evil things making any decisions. It just seems wrong. Later.